Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Joining us now is Adesua Giwa-Sage with stories trending around the world. Hello, Adesua. Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. Good morning, Aya. Good morning, Rufai.
Good morning, Adesua.
It's a beautiful Friday. Are you excited for the weekend?
Thank God it's Friday.
It's Friday. Well, we are starting what's trending today with reactions to the American presidential debate, which are notably unanimous on one point. President Joe Biden's age is evident, and it's impacting his performance. It was a poor outing for the U.S. president. Meanwhile, his opponent, the former President Donald Trump, kept fact-checkers very busy throughout the night, spending his time on the debate stage promoting half-truths and outright lies. Let's take a look at a snippet from the debate before we take some reactions from X, formerly known as Twitter.
Israel and Hamas. Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one who wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one, and you should let him go and let him finish the job. He doesn't want to do it. He's become like a Palestinian, but they don't like him because he's a very bad Palestinian. He's a weak one. This man is a criminal. This man, you're lucky. You're lucky. I did nothing wrong. We'd have a system that was rigged and disgusting. I did nothing wrong.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, I'm coming right to you, sir. You want to respond? Go ahead. I'll give you a minute to respond.
The idea that I did anything wrong relative to what you're talking about is outrageous. It's simply a lie, number one. Number two, the idea that you have a right to seek retribution against any American just because you're president is wrong. It's simply wrong. No president's ever spoken like that before. No president in our history has spoken like that before. Number three, the crimes that you are still charged with, and think of all the civil penalties you have. How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things, of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant? I mean, what are you talking about? You have the morals of an alley cat.
Give you a minute, sir.
I didn't have sex with a porn star.
Well, let's look at some tweets from X. The first tweet from Sally Cohn. Here's the problem. Trump is a decisive communicator but lies. Biden tells the truth, but not as clearly and assertively. It's misinformation versus democracy. The entire challenge of our nation in one debate. The next tweet is actually from President Biden's Twitter handle. Donald Trump spent last night talking about himself, his lies, his legal woes, his affairs with a porn star, and his golf championship at his own club. What a bunch of malarkey. Together we can keep him out of the White House. Now, you have all discussed the American debate earlier this morning. You had a guest on. You've discussed some of the issues extensively. And, probably if Biden is going to be replaced, people are now calling for the California governor, Newsom, to maybe replace Biden. Some people have called for Michelle Obama. I think for me, what the debate represented is a fall from grace from America. The American Republic was put to shame last night. Beyond the issues at hand, the reason we are here is because Trump was a birther. His political clout came from his aversion to the Barack Obama presidency. America did not reckon with its racist past, and therefore the Tea Party came about. Therefore Trump and Trumpists came about. They call themselves truthers, and now everybody else is spewing fake news. What we saw yesterday was ungentlemanly. I could not believe watching it that what we were hearing was golf championships and sex workers and crimes. A felon on stage.
Well, I don't think we should panic, in my opinion.
Dr. Abati, you're not panicking?
No, I think there is a bias among many Nigerians for the Democratic candidate, Joe Biden.
A lot for Trump.
I think we have a lot of Trump
there are people like Femi Fani-Kayode who support Donald Trump, but there are some of us who think we're safer with Biden for one major reason. I mean, Biden is a globalist. The Democrats are globalists. Trump is very insular. So American foreign policy often oscillates between isolationism, which Trump projects, and globalism, which Biden and the Democrats support. But however, I think why I said we should not panic is that this is the first debate. This is the earliest debate in the history of American presidential debates. So the Democrats, they have more than enough opportunity to work on President Biden. And I have also said earlier on that previously we had Obama. Obama didn't do well with Mitt Romney in the first debate in 2012, but he improved, second, third debate. The same Biden didn't do well in the first debate in 2020, but he improved in the second debate, third debate. However, I think what is important so far, two things. The fact that the debate focused on key issues: abortion, immigration, inflation, economy, and all of that. Even if all through that, President Biden lost the opportunity to debunk many of the lies by President Trump. President Trump lied throughout. He said Biden has destroyed America. We don't have that evidence that he has destroyed America. He said the biggest budget deficit is under Biden. That is not true. He had more deficit. He said Biden has increased taxes 7 times. That's not true. What Biden has said is that there will be increase in taxes 7 times over 10 years, over the next decade.
Trump is a liar.
So, Trump was just lying, but he didn't, President Biden didn't match up. We hope that in the second debate, which is scheduled for September, that he will be able to measure up so that all the Democratic Party loving
people of the world, yes,
would have better hope. However, people have been saying, Biden showed that he's an old man. Both of them are old.
Yes, but one is showing more on one side rather than the other.
So what I'd like to say is this. A couple of things. I do not honestly, and I get, the Berta movement where all of this pretty much started from, and the resurgence of the Tea Party after Obama left, and the fact that, there were a lot of people were not taking that, the fact that a black man was president, to heart. But the truth has to be said here. I don't think Biden should do another debate because it's going to perform equally worse off. The age thing showed yesterday. The last, if you look at 4 years ago, the first debate, Biden actually won that debate. Over 60% to Trump's over 20-something%. Biden has a hazard of the fact. Biden is known to be a very good debater.
Well, hopefully,
that's one of his strong points.
Hopefully we'll see that now the next time.
Even when Obama didn't do well in his first debate in 2012, it was not because he didn't have his hands on the facts. It was just not as much as great energy like a lot of people expect from Obama. And he did come back in the second and third debate to show up.
Let's go to the next story. We are coming home with this next story because after failing to appear for the 5th time before the Federal High Court in Abuja for his arraignment in the 80 billion naira fraud case brought against him by the EFCC, the former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, on Thursday instead applied to the court through his lawyer to transfer his trial to Lokoja, the capital of Kogi State. Now, the former governor is facing a 19-count charge bordering on his alleged complicity in money laundering, breach of trust, and misappropriation of public funds to the tune of about 80.2 billion naira. Now, meanwhile, in a viral video on social media, operatives of the anti-graft agency EFCC were apparently seen in plain clothes forcefully entering one of the rooms at the regional hotel in Ojo of Lagos. The executive chairman of the EFCC, Mr. Ola Olukayade, has ordered the arrest of 2 officers allegedly involved in the manhandling of a female staff member at the hotel. Now, somebody sent me a text this morning saying that it seems EFCC has now become SARS. What we're seeing right now is an aberration of justice. We have people who are profiled as criminals and then expected to prove themselves to be innocent Nigerians. It is absolutely abhorrent that the EFCC, the federal government, has agents who cannot go into the house of the former governor, Yahaya Bello, but instead are going into hotels and hostels and universities. I think it's absolutely abhorrent. Aya, what do you think?
Abhorrent, and I'm glad that the EFCC chairman has come out very quickly to make an announcement that these men are going to be apprehended, arrested, investigations will take place. I mean, I jumped, involuntarily when you played the video of the man going into the room and slapping the woman. It's like a scene from a movie where a woman is being assaulted. And a number of times we talked about the high-handedness of EFCC operatives. truth be told, they have been seen to be quite active. Well, you're spot on, Adesua. It is using a hammer for a cockroach when there are bigger fishes to fry. And going back to the first story, with the case of the governor of Kogi State, former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, who has refused to show himself, appear in court. And now, rather than coming up to court, which his lawyer, Mr. Adeola Adedikpe, SAN, refused to say why he didn't present his client in court as he had promised the court in the previous appearance. And instead, he's now saying they should take it back to Lokoja Kogi. Let him come to court. What is he hiding from? Why is he running? And why is the EFCC docile with these big fishes? And then we go and see, why are you running? Why are you running? But that's the case. The truth is that when it comes to the EFCC, there are still some areas that need to be straightened out. And I hope as part of the energy and the actions of Mr. Olukoyede, it will be to put right some of these excesses of his men.
Definitely. Why are you running?
Why are you running?
Is your hair below on the
Why are you running? I mean, it just shows the fact that this country don't balance. African China sang the song. Rich man wasting money, they not they see him face for crime fighter. Poor man wasting money, they go show him face for crime fighter. Tell me something I don't know. Which man go they holla pe poor man go they shout walla me make una lead us well. Don't let this nation to turn inside well. And this was close to over 15 years that song was released and it's still very up to date.
Well, very quickly, you raised a point about the conduct of the EFCC officials.
Yes.
I think that the EFCC chairman has done well by saying that those officials who attacked the woman in that hotel, regional hotel in Ojo, should be investigated. Our system, we run a prosecutorial system. I think you refer to that as different from the French system where it is accusatorial. A person is considered innocent until proven guilty. Yes. And our laws and human rights provisions do not provide for you to torture, harass, bully people, even when you are trying to administer justice. And I think that Olukoyede is right in that regard. As for the Kogi case, Adedikpe SAN was arguing before the court yesterday about territorial jurisdiction. And he was saying that, look, the matter should be taken to Lokoja, where Governor Yahaya Bello was governor. He was talking about territorial jurisdiction. But with due respect, the SAN failed to realize the fact that federal high courts have universal jurisdiction. And so that point about jurisdiction does not arise in this particular case. The other case is, this is the 5th time that Governor Yahaya Bello has refused to appear in court.
Yes.
And Adedikpe SAN promised, I think was it June 13 or May 13, that he will bring his client to court. So Adedikpe SAN and the other counsel, they seem to be running foul of the court in terms of contempt. And these are persons who are supposed to be officers in the Temple of Justice.
Definitely.
And, they must realize what the implications are, as persons who are involved in procedural law, in terms of appearances.
Let's take our last story of the day, because Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, the NNPP presidential candidate in the 2023 elections, was recently seen visiting the former governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, at his home in Abuja.
Khalifa keke kin ga Musa Yola dan kai
Honorable na gajiya da kai. Na gajiya.
Wannan ina ne a bayan jam'iyya.
Yawa. Ka gano take
Well, just days earlier, El-Rufai and Danjuma of Adamawa, Alhaji Musa Halilu, paid a Salah homage to the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, at his residence in Daura of Katsina State. This visit occurred a day after a similar meeting between the former President Buhari and the former Vice President and PDP presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar. Additionally, the former Vice President was also seen visiting 2 former heads of state, General Ibrahim Babangida and General Abubakar Abdul Salami in Minna of Niger State. These widely publicized visits that cross party lines seem to indicate alliance building and a potential reshaping of the political landscape ahead of the 2027 elections. Rufai, do you think that 2027 is cooking?
So I don't like reading political meetings to things like that, meanings to things like this. But to a large extent, yes, we know the fact that 2027 is cooking because politicians have to plan for it in advance. And that's why I don't like our democratic system. You have leaders that after the first year, in fact, first going into the second year, they start to focus on 2027 or start to focus on the next election. And that's the problem with Nigeria and Africa in general. Africa do not have leaders. We have politicians. Politicians focus on the next election. Leaders focus on the next generation. So somebody will have thought that meetings like this and all of that and politicking should be geared towards what can be the legacy, sustainable legacy for the next generation. But we had this. But I don't want to do political.
I'm going to go to the last story. It's because of what you said. Instead of politicians, instead of leaders, we have politicians.
That's what we have.
Because on the 21st of June 2024, Sierra Leone's parliament made a historic decision by approving a law to abolish child marriage in the country. Following the announcement, Sierra Leone's First Lady, Fatima Mada Bio, expressed her joy on X. She tweeted, Sierra Leone's parliament today unanimously passed the Prohibition of Child Marriage Bill 2024, a crucial piece of legislation that I championed. This private member's bill outlaws child marriage, a harmful practice that has long plagued the nation. A heartwarming video of the First Lady celebrating the new law quickly went viral on social media.
Finally, ting dong bio. Ting dong bio. Finally, ting dong bio. Ting dong bio.
There seem to be leaders who are thinking of the next generation instead of thinking about politicking. You agree?
That's something definitely worth dancing to, and I'm dancing along with them. And by the way, Sierra Leone has one of the highest number of child marriages, one of the highest numbers of early pregnancy, and one of the highest numbers of maternal mortality in the world.
Yes.
And so this is historic and worth celebrating. And I hope that countries on the continent, like Nigeria, would also be relief from this in terms of protecting the girl child and ensuring that they have quality education, access to quality education. This will provide penalties for perpetrators of child marriage and also provide an opportunity for victims, I'll put it in that way, of child marriage to go back to school, learn a trade and be rehabilitated.
Yes.
So great.
Congratulations to First Lady of Sierra Leone, Fatima Mada Bio, and the Save the Children NGO group who pushed this through. What is special about this Prohibition of Child Marriage 2024 Act of Sierra Leone is that it provides penalties. And it says you can't marry a girl that is under 18. In Nigeria, to just link the two, we have a national population policy that says the marital age for a woman is 18, for a man is 24. But our own policy, we don't have a law that prescribes penalties. And that's why you will find people in Nigeria hiding under religion and culture, marrying, 12-year-olds, 11-year-olds, and boasting about it publicly. I think that maybe there's a lesson we can learn from here in terms of our own laws to say there will be penalties if you go and marry a girl who is a child, not a bride. The main slogan is a child, not a bride. Thank you very much, Adesua.
Thank you. Thank you. That brings us to the end of What's Trending on this beautiful Friday.